What is true love according to Buddhist teachings? And how does it go beyond what we think of as ordinary romance? Part 1. For most of us, the search for love is one of the central dramas of our lives. We are raised on stories of finding the one, our other half, the person who will finally complete us. We remember the intoxicating, heart-pounding thrill of falling in love, that feeling that the world has shifted from black and white to brilliant color. In those moments, we feel seen, we feel whole, we feel alive. But if we are honest with ourselves, we also know the other side of that story. We know the quiet anxiety of wondering if they love us as much as we love them. We know the sting of jealousy, the pain when they fail to meet our unspoken expectations, and the profound emptiness that can settle in when the initial fire of passion begins to fade. Our greatest source of joy so often becomes our greatest source of pain. What if this cycle of bliss and heartache isn't an inevitable feature of love itself? What if it's a feature of a specific kind of love we have been taught to pursue, a love based on attachment and need? And what if there is a different way? For thousands of years, Buddhist wisdom has offered a profound and liberating alternative. It points to a love that is not based on grasping, but on giving, not on need, but on nourishment. A love that doesn't create a beautiful cage, but instead gives both people wings. In this series, we will explore that path. To understand the Buddhist vision of true love, we must first diagnose why our ordinary romantic love so often leads to suffering. The root of the problem, from a Buddhist perspective, is a single, powerful state of mind, upadana. This ancient Pali word is often translated as clinging or attachment. It's more than just wanting someone. It's the white-knuckled grip of the heart that says, "I need you in order to be happy," or "I cannot be whole without you." It's the feeling that our own well-being is fundamentally dependent on another person's presence, approval, and behavior. This attachment-based love operates like a transaction, an unspoken contract. I will love you if you make me feel secure. I will love you as long as you continue to be the person I fell in love with. I will love you because you complete me. This kind of love is conditional. It is a hunger. We are not so much loving the other person as we are loving the way they make us feel. They become a source, a utility for our own happiness. A beautiful metaphor for this is trying to quench your thirst by drinking salt water. For a moment, it feels like it's working, but it ultimately leaves you thirstier and more desperate than before. From this diagnosis, we can deduce exactly why this form of love is destined to create suffering. It's because it stands in direct opposition to a fundamental law of the universe, anicca, or impermanence. Everything changes. People change. Feelings change. Circumstances change. The person you love today will not be the exact same person in a year or 10 years. Your feelings for them will shift and evolve. Life will present challenges, illness, job loss, stress, that change the dynamic between you. When our love is a form of clinging, every single change feels like a threat. When our partner is no longer fulfilling their side of the unspoken contract, when they no longer make us feel perfectly happy or secure, our love falters and we feel fear, anger, and resentment. This is further complicated by the teaching of anatta, or not self. We are trying to grasp onto and possess a self in the other person that isn't even a solid, permanent thing to begin with. We create a fixed image in our mind of who our partner is, and we fall in love with that image. But their true nature, like our own, is a constantly flowing river of thoughts, feelings, and experiences. When their river inevitably changes course, we are left trying to clutch a phantom, which only deepens our suffering. Clinging to another person is like trying to build a house on a cloud. So, what does this mean for you as you reflect on your own relationships, past and present? It means that the pain you may have experienced is not a sign that you are bad at love. It is a sign that you are a human being, caught in the very human habit of attachment. This understanding allows us to stop blaming ourselves or our partners and instead look at the underlying mechanism with compassion. This leads to our first practice, the practice of noticing attachment. It's very simple. In your interactions with a loved one, just begin to notice the subtle flavor of clinging. When you feel a strong surge of affection, ask yourself, is this a wish for their happiness, or is it a happiness that they are fulfilling my need? When you feel a pang of fear or anxiety about the relationship, ask, is this a healthy concern, or is this the fear of losing something I feel I own? You don't need to change anything. Just notice. Instead of being swept away by the thought, I would be nothing without them, you can learn to observe it with a bit of space. There is a feeling of fear and attachment arising. Interesting. In this simple act of noticing, you take the first step from being a prisoner of love to becoming a student of it. In summary, what we often call romance is a powerful cocktail of affection and attachment. The attachment, or upadana, is what makes this love conditional, needy, and ultimately a source of suffering because it fights against the universal truths of impermanence and not self. It is a love that seeks to possess. But if this is the problem, what is the solution? What does a love that is free from clinging look like? Buddhist wisdom proposes that true love is not a single feeling, but a symphony of four sublime qualities. It is these four elements that form the foundation of a love that liberates instead of entraps. And exploring the first two of these, loving kindness and compassion, is where our journey will take us next. Where have you noticed the salt water of attachment in your own life? Share your reflections in the comments below. If this perspective resonated with you, please press the like button and subscribe to Buddhism Wisdom, Spirituality, to continue this journey of discovery with us. Part 2. In our last part, we deconstructed our conventional idea of romantic love, seeing how its foundation of attachment, or upadana, so often leads to a painful cycle of pleasure and suffering. We saw that a love based on need and possession is like trying to quench a thirst with salt water. This naturally leads to the question, if that is not true love, then what is? The Buddhist tradition answers not with a single definition, but with a beautiful and practical framework known as the Four Immeasurables, or the Brahma Viharas. These are four qualities of heart that, when cultivated together, form the foundation of a love that is boundless, stable, and deeply nourishing. In the words of the Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh, true love is made of four elements: loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity. In this part of our journey, we will explore the first two of these essential elements: loving kindness and compassion. These two qualities provide the warmth and the strength that can transform our relationships from a source of anxiety into a source of genuine sanctuary. Let's begin with the first element, metta, the Pali word for loving kindness. This is very different from the conditional, sentimental love we often see in movies. Metta is not about how someone makes you feel. It is an active, unconditional wish for all beings, including your partner and yourself, to be happy. It is a state of boundless friendliness and goodwill. It's a love that says, "May you be happy," without adding the silent contract, "so that you can continue to make me happy." It is a generous, radiant state of heart that wants nothing in return. Imagine the sun. The sun shines its warmth down on everything: the beautiful rose, the sharp thorn, the fertile soil, and the barren rock. It doesn't pick and choose. It simply gives its warmth freely. Metta is like that. It is a warmth that you cultivate in your own heart and learn to radiate outwards. When your love for your partner is grounded in metta, it becomes less about your needs and more about your sincere desire for their well-being. The second element is karuna, which translates as compassion. If metta is the wish for others to be happy, karuna is the wish for them to be free from suffering. It is the heart's ability to tremble in the face of pain, to be present with suffering, both our own and our partners, without being consumed by it or turning away from it. It is the active desire to help alleviate that suffering if we can. In a typical romance, when one partner is going through a hard time, loses a job, gets sick, feels depressed, the other partner can feel burdened or resentful because the unspoken contract, "You are supposed to make me happy," is being broken. Their attachment love weakens, but a love that includes karuna does the opposite. It deepens. It moves closer. It says, "I am here with you in your pain. Your suffering is my suffering." Compassion is the medicine of love. It gives a relationship the resilience and strength to navigate the inevitable storms of life. It's the quality that allows two people to be a true refuge for one another. From this, we can see how metta and karuna work together to create a profoundly stable and liberating love. Metta, loving kindness, frees our love from the prison of transactional need. It stops us from seeing our partner as a means to our own happiness and allows us to cherish them for who they are. This naturally reduces clinging, jealousy, and the desire to control them. Karuna, compassion, provides the courage and strength to face life's difficulties together. It transforms challenges from threats to the relationship into opportunities for the relationship to deepen and become a true source of healing. A common question that arises here is, does this mean true love should be devoid of passion, romance, and excitement? Not at all. The Buddhist teachings are not about eradicating our humanity, but about refining it. Passion, attraction, and joy can all be beautiful parts of a relationship, but when they are built upon the shaky foundation of attachment alone, they are volatile and unstable. When those same feelings are grounded in the solid foundation of metta and karuna, they are transformed. The fire of passion is no longer a desperate, consuming wildfire that can burn itself out, but a steady, warm, and life-giving hearth that provides light and comfort through all seasons. So, how do we move from understanding these beautiful concepts to actually living them? We cultivate them intentionally, just as we would cultivate a muscle in the gym or a skill like playing the piano. The primary method for this is the practice of metta, or loving-kindness meditation. It is a simple yet profound technique for training the heart. You can try this right now. Find a comfortable posture. Close your eyes. First, bring yourself to mind. Picture yourself and silently repeat these phrases, directing them to yourself. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I be safe. May I live with ease. Feel the warmth of this intention. We must start with ourselves because we cannot offer from an empty cup. After a few minutes, bring to mind your partner or a loved one. Hold their image in your heart and extend the same wishes to them. May you be happy. May you be healthy. May you be safe. May you live with ease. Let go of any expectation. Simply offer these wishes as a gift, freely given. You can then extend this practice to a neutral person and eventually even to someone with whom you have difficulty. This practice, done regularly, begins to rewire the habitual patterns of the heart away from neediness and towards boundless, unconditional friendliness. As we have seen, the Buddhist path to true love begins with laying a new foundation. We replace the unstable ground of attachment with the bedrock of two powerful qualities: metta, the unconditional wish for happiness, and karuna, the compassionate desire to alleviate suffering. These are not just beautiful ideals. They are skills that can be cultivated through dedicated practice, transforming our relationships from a source of anxiety into a sanctuary of warmth and strength. But this is only half of the picture. A house needs more than just a foundation and strong walls. It needs a roof to celebrate the sunshine and windows to let in the fresh air of freedom. These are represented by the final two elements of true love: sympathetic joy and equanimity. And exploring how these complete the architecture of a liberated love is where we will go in our final part. How might your most important relationship change if it were grounded in metta and karuna? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this perspective has given you a new way to think about love, please show your support by liking this video and subscribing to Buddhism Wisdom, Spirituality. We'll see you in part 3. Part 3. Welcome back. In our journey to understand true love, we began by deconstructing the painful cycle of attachment that defines so much of ordinary romance. Then, in Part 2, we laid a new foundation, exploring the first two elements of liberated love: metta, the unconditional warmth of loving kindness, and karuna, the courageous strength of compassion. These two qualities allow love to be a refuge in difficult times. But what about the good times? And how do we navigate the complex dance of intimacy and freedom? To complete the picture, we now turn to the final two elements of true love: mudita, or sympathetic joy, and upekkha, or equanimity. These are the qualities that allow love to be a celebration and a path to freedom. Let's explore the third element, mudita, which translates as sympathetic or appreciative joy. This is the ability to feel genuine happiness in the joy, success, and good fortune of others. In a relationship, it is the direct antidote to the poison of jealousy, envy, and competition. In a love based on attachment and insecurity, a partner's success can sometimes feel like a threat. What if they become more successful than me? What if their new passion takes them away from me? This comes from a place of scarcity. Mudita, on the other hand, comes from a place of abundance. It is the heart that says, "Your happiness is my happiness." It's the genuine, unselfish thrill you feel when your partner gets that promotion, masters a new skill, or simply has a wonderful day. It is the practice of being their biggest fan. When a relationship is rich with mudita, the couple's collective pool of joy is doubled. You get to delight not only in your own successes, but in theirs as well. It transforms a partnership from a potential competition into a joyful collaboration. The fourth and final element is upekkha, translated as equanimity. This is perhaps the most subtle and misunderstood, yet it is what makes love truly liberating. Equanimity is not indifference or emotional distance. It is a profound, spacious balance of mind. It is the wisdom to love someone completely without trying to control them or make them responsible for your happiness. Upekkha is the part of love that respects the other person's freedom and autonomy. It understands that you cannot make your partner happy. You can only love them, support them, and create the conditions for them to find their own happiness. A beautiful metaphor for equanimity is that of a wise gardener. The gardener provides the best soil, water, and sunlight they can. They protect the plant from harm, but the gardener knows they cannot force the plant to grow or bloom in a particular way. They trust the innate wisdom of the plant to find its own way to the sun. Equanimity in a relationship is this wise trust. It's the ability to love your partner without needing them to be different than they are. It's the space that allows both people to breathe and to be their authentic selves. Now we can see the full architecture of true love. Metta is the warmth that fuels the relationship. Karuna is the strength that holds it together through storms. Mudita is the joyful celebration of its successes. And upekkha is the spacious wisdom that gives it freedom to grow. A love that contains all four of these elements is balanced, resilient, and deeply nourishing. It is not a fusion of two half people into one, but a supportive connection between two whole people, each on their own path to freedom, who choose to walk that path together. This love doesn't seek to complete, it seeks to support. This is a love that goes far beyond mere romance. It is a spiritual practice. It is a path of mutual growth and liberation. It challenges us to become better, more whole human beings, not for our partner, but with our partner. So, how do we bring these final two sublime qualities into our daily lives? We practice them, consciously and with intention. For sympathetic joy, the practice is active celebration. The next time your partner or anyone you care about shares good news with you, resist the urge to immediately think about how it impacts you. Instead, pause. Take a moment to genuinely feel into their joy. Ask them questions about it. That's wonderful. Tell me more about how it felt. Let their happiness be the main event. By doing this, you are actively training your mind to find joy in the good fortune of others, weakening the grip of envy and comparison. For equanimity, the practice is offering space. Throughout the day, notice the subtle impulse to fix your partner, to give unsolicited advice, or to manage their feelings for them. This often comes from a well-intentioned place, but it can undermine their autonomy. In a moment when this urge arises, try this instead. Pause, take a breath, and offer your calm, loving presence without offering a solution. Trust their ability to navigate their own experience. You can say something like, "That sounds really tough. I'm here for you." This practice of non-interference, grounded in love and trust, is the very essence of equanimity. So we return to our initial question. What is true love according to Buddhist teachings? As we have seen, it is not a singular feeling to be grasped, but a masterpiece to be cultivated, painted with the four sublime colors of loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. Ordinary romance, based on attachment, seeks a person to fill our emptiness. True love, based on wisdom, arises from our own fullness and seeks to nourish the well-being and freedom of another. The most inspiring takeaway is this: the capacity for this kind of love is not something you have to find in another person. It is already within you, waiting to be cultivated. The goal is not to find your other half, but to become a whole person who can then share your life with another whole person. A love like this does not put you in a cage, no matter how beautiful it may be. It is a love that sets you and the person you love free. Which of these four elements resonates most with you, or which do you find the most challenging to practice? Please share your reflections in the comments below. If this journey into the heart of love has been meaningful for you, please press the like button and subscribe to Buddhism Wisdom, Spirituality. Thank you for sharing this time with us. May you love wisely and well.